I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and it's part 2 of a dogfight battle between the Motorola DROID RAZR M and the HTC One S. Let's take a look and see which one's the king, but first, some love to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this for use in PhoneDog's One Paw Bandit giveaway game, which is a free spin-to-win game on our site. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, you won't deal with rebates, waiting for paperwork, waiting for those crazy debit cards nobody really likes. At Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out and you'll pay the after rebate price. So $100 for this one, $150 for this one. At Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working and you won't have to deal with rebates. Let's take a look. It's part 2 of a dogfight. RAZR M, HTC One S. Let's figure out which one's on top. We roll into part 2 of a dogfight battle between the Motorola DROID RAZR M and the HTC One S. Now, like any other Android dogfight battle, or actually quite a few of the battles in 2012 that is, both of these are great devices that, despite not having a $199 price tag, are still very decent devices that I would carry in my personal life, would recommend to anybody. Great processors, great performance for a nice sub $100 price, or a sub $150 price in the case of the HTC One S. So you've got the DROID RAZR M here coming tomorrow to Verizon for $100. You've got the HTC One S available now at T-Mobile for $149.99. Price points may vary depending on promotions that individual stores are offering, and of course there are third-party retailers that are always offering great deals, so be sure to check that out if you're looking for either one of these devices. So, like I said in part 1, build quality is great on both of these devices. You get a metal form factor over here, a metal back I should say, Kevlar coated back here with a metal front, and plastic on the side, so it fits really well in the hand thanks to the fact that it's got an edge-to-edge 4.3-inch Super AMOLED Advanced display. And I'll tell you, after working with this for a couple of days, I picked it up after the Motorola event, and I was like, this isn't really anything exciting. It looks a lot like the typical Motorola device. You know, design-wise, they all look very similar. And then I kept picking it up, and I was like, you know what? It feels good in the hand, and anybody will tell you if they were in meetings with me last week, I was kind of like, hey, this is nice. And I put it back down. I'm like, hey, this, you know, I'm getting used to this phone. And I've really come to really enjoy it because it does have a nice edge-to-edge display. It's smaller, and so you can see, because both of these have 4.3-inch displays, you can really put them side by side or put them on top of each other and see the added real estate that you get around the sides of this display. Despite it not being any larger, you get a lot of plastic and some extra metal around the sides. You can really see how much of that can be tapered away by changing it to an edge-to-edge display. Then you have the HTC One S, my favorite device out of the One series, not counting the Evo 4G LTE. Size-wise, it's a perfect size. It's got a 1,650 milliamp hour non-removable battery, whereas over here, you've got a 2,000 milliamp hour non-removable battery. So Sense 4 over here, atop Android 4.0, Motorola's UI over here, atop Android 4.0. So let's jump right back in and take a look, starting off at some speed tests and see what we can do there. 4G on both of these devices, LTE on the Verizon side, HSPA Plus on the T-Mobile side. So we'll load up the speed test here and take a look. Not YouTube. Let's do this and go to speed test. Verizon promises download speeds between 5 and 12 megabits per second and upload speeds between 2 and 5 megabits per second. And so far, so good in my office. Since I've been back, I'm assuming this was related to the DNC, but since I've been back, coverage has been great in the office with Verizon. I've been getting some great 4G LTE speeds, and HSPA Plus has never had an issue in my office. So let's take a look at both of these. You can see about 18 to 20 megabits per second over here, and still very fast over on the T-Mobile side as well, coming in just short of 10 megabits per second on the download. 10 over here, 21 megabits per second over here. On the upload, 10 megabits per second over here, and you're getting about 1.25 over here on the HTC One S. And so again, covering it from part 1, going back into part 2, you can see on-screen buttons here, and because these are on-screen buttons, you'll notice in an application like this, the menu button is down at the bottom with the buttons, whereas here, you kind of got this weird standalone menu button, which they did fix in later versions of HTC Sense. So that's something to keep in mind. And then of course here, here, and bam, up and down, just like that, with the notification bar. Very fast, little to no lag, 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 CPUs on both of these devices. So let's load up Quadrant Standard as well, get back to a new test on both, and we'll talk a little bit about battery life and about call quality. Great on both. Call quality is great. The earpiece is nice and loud on both, but I give a slight edge when it comes to overall call quality to the RAZR M, because Motorola does a great job in the wireless radio department. Fantastic performance there. I took it to a Verizon dead spot, and I'll tell you that if you're going with either of these carriers and you're in an area with 0 or 1 bar of service in your respective carrier's area, take a look at a Motorola device, because they do a fantastic job with wireless radio. And I've found over my time in testing these devices that if I'm in an area with 0 or 1 bar, you can see that this one is the one that performs the best when it comes to call quality. Now, speakerphone nice and loud on both. Battery life is a little bit better on the RAZR M because it does have a 2,000 milliamp hour non-removable. I'm getting about 12 to 14 hours with moderate use over here. Over here, not as great, 1,650 milliamp hour battery, and while HSPA Plus is a little bit better of a battery hog, or is a little less of a battery hog, I should say, than the LTE on the Verizon DROID RAZR M, it still doesn't hold up in a day-to-day kind of test. I get about 10 hours on the One S, so in comparison to this, I'm getting better battery life over here. 4,397 over here, 4,920 on the DROID RAZR M. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but keeping that in mind and using that as a benchmark, the DROID RAZR wins in that comparison. Also, let's take a look at camera, and I'm going to spoil it for you. This is an area where the HTC One S absolutely obliterates the competition. One S, or the One series, I should say, that offers the image sense, outdoes anything with the exception of maybe the Galaxy S3 and the iPhone 4S, soon to be the iPhone 5, if the event is any indicator. So we'll load this up, and you can see I can easily take a bunch of pictures and then just let go. I can take, thanks to image sense, a lot of shots and pick my favorite one. So if I have a daughter or a son that's playing a football game, a soccer game, I can easily take pictures as they're moving across the field and scoring those touchdowns, or doing whatever it is they do in soccer. I totally forgot which one it was. Goals, that's right. And you can see here I can choose the best shot and delete the rest of the images. You can also take stills while you're shooting video, which is a nice feature over here. Then over here, decent camera by all means, and again, keeping in mind the price point is $100, it's certainly not a bad camera. Image quality is decent. That said, the image features that come with the One S make it a much better camera all around. So I've got the picture there, and then I can shift over into video mode like this and record, and then I can take pictures over here as well. When I'm done, I can go back and find those individual pictures. So that feature is available on the DROID RAZR M as well. That said, the burst mode stuff over here and the overall camera quality is much better on the HTC One S. So that's something to keep in mind. Also want to take a quick look at personal information management. Take a look at the phone stuff over here so you can see all of these fake numbers that I have in here, my call history, my contacts. This is what it looks like over on the Motorola side, but let's go into contacts and take a look, because I want to show you a contact on both of these devices. So let's just say Bill Stevenson over here. What I love about this one is, for a stock Android lover and Android purist, this could be a great device. Whereas over here, personal information management is paramount, so you can see in Thread, you've got your messages, your email, your call history, your updates, and your gallery all in one convenient place on both of these devices. So obviously, it's a tough dogfight, but one has to win. And like any other Android dogfight, I'm telling you, both of these are great devices. So while I have to give an award to one of them, they're both fantastic devices. I would carry both of these any day. I really enjoy this device, been really pleased with this device in my testing. So be sure to check them both out. That said, the winner of the dogfight by a narrow margin goes to the RAZR M for a couple of reasons. One, the edge-to-edge display makes it very svelte and easy to carry. Two, a bigger 2,000 milliamp hour battery. Three, the Kevlar back and the coating on the front makes it a little bit less susceptible to drops and things like that. And four, it's a great price point. $100, you can't beat it on Verizon. It's launching at $100, making it a great option for anybody from a first-time smartphone buyer to somebody like myself that's a smartphone expert, or somebody that works with smartphones on a regular basis and needs that level of power. So RAZR M wins, but both of these are fantastic devices. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage. Be sure to like us on Facebook to win cool stuff as part of our greatest tech giveaway ever too. Facebook.com/PhoneDog, and you can check that out. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Let me know what you think of both of these devices. PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at my personal page at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. Much more coverage to come on both of these devices. It's going to be a crazy dogfight season as Android devices, Windows Phone devices, and more. Oh, that's my coffee cup, never mind. But more stuff comes out in this wild fall season, so be sure to stay tuned. And as always, I'll see you next time.